Hi, welcome back to Eating Health Restores channel. Today, I'm going to be my own patient case. I want to share with you how I reversed my own chronic disease. So let's get into it. I want to tell you how I got to this point. So in 2008, I was living in Orlando, Florida with my family. And during this time, we were eating everything. We were eating chicken and pork and beef and shrimp, any type of seafoods. We were eating it all. I especially liked shrimp, squid, and cheese. Anything that had cheese on it. My mother, she made the best deviled eggs. She made the best shepherd pie. My aunt, she made the best bacon city. Another aunt, she taught me how to make collard greens with bacon grease and bacon fat in it. And yeah, we just ate any and everything. And I am happy to say that I can make all those foods today plant-based, and they are just as delicious or better. So yeah. Now back to the story. 2008, we were shopping at Walmart for pretty much all of our food. I would get my meats there as well as any canned foods, any vegetables. And I was shopping there one time, so maybe 2 years later, back in 2010, I remember shopping at Walmart and I was looking for some meat. I was reading over the label and trying to figure out which one would be the best out of what was available. And do you know what I saw? The label on the meat said cloned meat. Cloned meat. And I was like, what is this? It might have said maybe cloned meat. I'm not sure. But what I do know is that cloned meat was part of that label. And so I was completely disgusted. Needless to say, I did not buy any meat that day. I went home, I spoke to my family, and we agreed that we were not buying any meat that was labeled cloned or maybe cloned. We also agreed that when we did get our meat, we would get it from Whole Foods. And that's what we did from there on. Now, we did purchase fish, and we were still okay with purchasing fish from Walmart at this time, which looking back, that probably wasn't the best idea neither, but that's what we did. So we purchased meat from Whole Foods once a month because Whole Foods is expensive. And outside that, we would get fish from Walmart. So we ate a lot of fish. So about 2 months after I found out about cloned meat and only purchasing meat once a month, 2 months later, we were just like, well, we're just gonna stop eating meat altogether. Only fish. So that cloned meat label was actually a blessing in disguise. So this is how we became pescatarian. We didn't have a big fight from the kids because they were 3 and 4 and they just didn't give us much pushback. So we were for 6 years, we were pescatarian. Then for a week, we started eating meat again. And I don't know what I was thinking. I was like asking myself, what am I doing? I don't want to start my children down an unhealthy path. So we went back to only eating fish. And that lasted for a few more months until one day I went to Publix, another grocery store in Florida. And I purchased some salmon. Well, I planned to make the salmon that night. And mind you, Publix is only 5 minutes away from me. I went home, opened the wrapper. Let me pause. Let me tell you. I didn't purchase this like frozen salmon. I went to the counter where you can pick out your meat. So I picked out my fish, and the lady behind the counter picked up the fish that I wanted, weighed it, put a little label on it to tell me how much it cost and how much it weighed. And that is how I purchased my fish. And so when I got home, unwrapped it, I was greeted with this foul odor. And I was super annoyed right then and there that, like, how could she not smell this fish? It smells so bad. So anyway, I was annoyed. I went back to Publix, returned the fish. I didn't even want to risk getting more fish and it be spoiled. So I didn't get any more at all. And I had no part in the fish smelling bad. Again, I only lived 5 minutes away, and it's not like I was out in the sun, like the fish was out in the sun for hours. It wasn't that way. I had nothing to do with why the fish was spoiled. So anyhow, at this point, I just was like, we're not eating more fish. That was the last time I ever purchased fish. And so I decided that we were just going to be vegetarian. And we were vegetarian for about 3 to 5 months. Now, during this time in my life, I had started to learn more about health and the benefits of different diets and lifestyle. So at this point, I was like completely okay with getting rid of meat altogether. I didn't get much pushback from the children during that time neither. So this, I would also say that the spoiled salmon was a blessing in disguise. So again, we were vegetarian for about 3 to 5 months. I remember being in Whole Foods one day when I decided I was going to try a vegan diet for everyone, especially for my son who constantly battled with a health condition. So I thought that vegan might be the best diet for him. So I'll stop here to say that it absolutely was. It was the best thing for him, and it was such a blessing. It completely changed his health. And it was a blessing for me as well, because I didn't even realize I had an issue until I stopped eating dairy and eggs. And then I was like, oh, well, this isn't happening anymore. And then the times where I would accidentally eat something that had eggs or dairy in it, the issue would rise up again. So then I put 2 and 2 together that it had to do with my vegan diet. And up until this day, as being plant-based, vegan, I don't have that issue. So anyhow, it was great. So I didn't know a lot about substitute foods at this time. So I was cooking all of our meals, and I didn't do much microwaving or quick oven foods. So that began our vegan journey. Everything was going well up until I went back to school to get my master's in nursing and become a nurse practitioner. That's when problems started. So it was my first year in the program. I was a full-time student. I was also homeschooling at the time. And I was also working part-time. Okay, let's be real. 2 days a week is not really part-time. 2 days a month is not really part-time. I was working 2 days a month. So we won't count that. But nevertheless, I was in school full-time, having to go to class, also homeschooling the children. So it was a lot. And I wasn't cooking as much as I was prior to starting school. It left me very little time. So I resorted to a lot of processed foods. We were eating Diet pizzas, the Diet brand, Morningstar brand, a lot of microwavable foods, Beyond Meats, the Impossible Meat, the Corn brand. The deep freezer was always stocked. It was overflowing at times because we had so much processed food. And honestly, we had processed food for almost every meal, every day. And I just started learning about lifestyle medicine during this year as well. So the hospital that I was working with, those 2 days a month, that hospital, I was also on the wellness committee at the hospital. And we started this program in the hospital for employees to get their blood work done and to also be a part of this study. And they also were getting able to get like free lifestyle services, lifestyle medicine services. And the lifestyle medicine director, he wanted to do a study with the results, right? So to show my support, I walked my happy self right on down to the lab, and I was like, I'm gonna get my labs drawn. I'm vegan, so they're gonna be fine. Not gonna have any problem. Yeah, I just thought everything was fine. No. Nope. When I got my labs back, I was shocked. I was so shocked. My cholesterol levels were high and my A1C was 5.7. I was pre-diabetic. I couldn't believe it. I could not believe it. You see the yellow? That's where I was at. Now, it wasn't until after the fact that I learned about this study. It's a plant-based diets and the risk of coronary heart disease study that showed that vegan processed food can increase the risk of heart disease more than the standard American diet. So the link to that study will be below, but let me go ahead and show you the chart now. So you see here in this chart, you have graph A, and graph A has 3 lines. You have the dotted line, the dotted blue line with the smaller dots, which shows a plant-based diet. And then you have the red line, which shows a healthy plant-based diet. And then you have the dotted or dashed line that shows an unhealthy plant-based diet. It's gray. So if you notice, the unhealthy plant-based diet is above the horizontal line, meaning that that diet increases your risk of coronary heart disease. And then the red healthy plant-based diet line is the lowest, has the greater angle below the horizontal line, meaning that it's a better, healthier diet. And then you have the dotted line that shows a combination, right? Now, chart B shows animal foods, which is the darker maroon line above the horizontal line. And then you have the dashed line, which is above the animal foods line. That's the less healthy plant foods. And then you have the yellow dotted line that's below the horizontal line. That's the healthy plant foods. So you see here that less healthy plant-based foods or processed foods, processed vegan foods, raises your risk greater than animal foods do. So this is where I was at, you guys. This is where I was at. My mentor says that prediabetes is a misnomer. I agree with that. I think that prediabetes is a disease in and of itself, and it should be called the diabetes level 1 or something like that, but nobody asked me. According to Associate Professor of Medicine, Epidemiology, and Nursing at Johns Hopkins Medicine, which is Dr. Maruther, she states, and I quote, "Some people with prediabetes may already have nerve damage, which can cause tingling or numbness in the feet and hands," end quote. Most people think they're okay when they have prediabetes, but they have been fooled. They have been lied to. They are not okay. This I did know, and that is why I was freaking out. According to the Mayo Clinic, and I'm quoting, "Prediabetes has been linked with long-term damage, including to your heart, blood vessels, and kidneys, even if you haven't progressed to type 2 diabetes. Prediabetes is also linked to unrecognized or silent heart attacks," end quote. Silent heart attacks, you all. So again, prediabetes is a disease. Do not let the pre fool you. So anyhow, I started freaking out. Back to that. I was imagining everything that was going on in my blood vessels, in my pancreas, in my kidneys, in my heart, my skin, everywhere. I thought to myself, I am failing myself. I'm failing myself. And I wondered, how long had I been at 5.7? Thankfully, I did know that diabetes is one of the easiest chronic diseases to reverse for most people. So I knew right then what I needed to do. Obviously, I wasn't going to drop out of school, and I wasn't about to put my children into public school, but I knew that I could change my diet. And that's what I did. So I looked into what I could purchase that was not processed, but that I can make meals with that were still easy, quick meals. So we began to eat a lot of spinach and kale salads. I did, absolutely. Every day for lunch was spinach and kale salad. Every day for breakfast, I was eating Nature's Path, Raisin Bran plus flax because of the high fiber content. And I did this for 3 months straight. For dinner, I started teaching our boys how to cook. They would cook together to begin with, and then they would be able to cook by themselves. Everyone had a day to cook, me and my husband included. And I cut out anything I was drinking other than water. So fruit juices, they had to go. I was drinking a lot of energy drinks during this time because I was staying up late doing my own schoolwork. I cut those out. Cut them out. So after 3 months exactly, I went to my own doctor and I asked her to check my A1C again. I was very confident that I had reversed the prediabetes. And within a day or two after getting the results back, the results did confirm that my lifestyle efforts had indeed reversed my prediabetes. I was then sitting at a 5.4. I was so relieved. You see that green line? That green area there? That's where I was at. Since then, I've maintained a healthier vegan diet. Today, I'm happy to say that me and my family are whole food plant-based. So I know I went through that pretty quickly, so I just want to reiterate the things that I did to reverse my prediabetes. I increased my fiber by eating the kale and spinach salad every day for lunch, and I ate a high fiber cereal every day for breakfast. Number two, I came together with my family and we started to cook healthier meals for dinner. And number three, I only drank water. Now, I know I did not mention sugar here because I was not eating a lot of sugar during this time other than what was in those energy drinks, which technically is quite a bit. But here and there I would have like cookies or cake or something like that, but it wasn't something that was a daily occurrence. Nothing that I thought that contributed to me getting the prediabetes, not anything that contributed heavily anyway. So I did stop eating junk food during this time though. Even if it wasn't a big factor, I cut it out anyway. So getting rid of the processed foods, I will say, helped financially as well, because processed food is expensive and it's more cost effective to be whole food plant-based vegan than many people realize. So in future videos, I will share some of the recipes that I made and really enjoy. And I'll also share the cookbooks that I've gotten them from. So there you have it. That's my story on how I reversed my own chronic disease. And yeah, it's absolutely doable. That's what we do here. That's what we help people with here at Eat a Health Restored. That's what lifestyle medicine is. You know, that's part of it. So thanks for watching. Please like, comment, subscribe, share. This helps with the YouTube algorithm and also helps you know when new content comes out. So again, thank you. God bless.